No, I'll never be able to speak Spanish. Never. No. I've come to that. Gabrielle said yesterday.
Yeah.
Another 400 years and you went. Yeah. No, it's tough enough to learn a language, and then, as I said, I'm dyslexic as well. So, I don't know. What I do know is that, you know, anybody taking courses on computer,
Yeah.
it's crazy, you know. I mean, the little things they tell you, you know. Oh, I need to go to the doctor. Oh, I need to go to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's stupid things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, stupid things.
I mean, who goes out with that, you know? It's 6 of one and half dozen of the other, because you can't have an interaction unless you're able to speak the language. And, you know, if you can't speak the language, you can't have an interaction. That you can really do it. You have to have...
Yeah.
See, for me,
Yeah.
there's no incentive. You know, even like with Eduardo downstairs, you know, he says to me, okay, I will speak Spanish to you, so you speak English to me. I said, okay.
Yeah. No way.
Now when I see him, hello, hello, you know what I mean? There's no Spanish speaking.
No way. Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's difficult. And it's like, again, with Gabriel yesterday, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I see him, he'll come over, oh, Mr. McDonough, how are you? You know what I mean? He doesn't speak to me in Spanish.
Yeah.
Marco is the same. Marco gets pissed off because I'm not speaking Spanish. No, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? You never speak anything but English to me anyway. You know, it's like...
Yeah. No incentive.
No, there isn't. I mean, you know, and Tomas, believe me, it's more frustrating to me than it is to anybody else. I know Marco the other day when we were sitting down, and he turned to me and he said something in Spanish. You know what I mean? And then he was like, you know, he was all pissed off because I didn't know what he was talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's as I said, I get upset with myself over not being able to do it, you know what I mean? I get frustrated here at times, you know.
Fácil, tenemos que hablar en español.
Sí.
Perfecto. Perfecto. Close.
Yeah.
We're ready. Perfecto. Tenemos que hablar en español, sí.
So that's what I'm saying, you know, it's
Eso era. Teníamos que hablar en español. ¿Cómo no se me ocurrió antes?
It's true. It's difficult to know what to do with it, Tomas.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is. It's frustrating to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to like think of something I want to do. I want to go down and get some pieces of wood, you know, because I got that screening I was telling you about.
Yes.
I got the screen. I went down and bought that. Now I want to get the wood to put it into, so I can put it on the windows. You know what I mean? And then I can keep the windows open.
Yeah.
You know, but it hasn't been that hot yet, so it doesn't really matter, you know. But I still have to go down and get the wood. So I've had it typed out on the computer and Googled, you know, the translation, and who knows what's in the translation, you know. Sometimes I give it to people and they look at it and go,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, no, I mean, you're right. But it doesn't give me an incentive to do anything either, you know what I mean? Because that's the only way I can get out of it, you know. And people are really nice. They're very helpful in doing it, you know. Like the butcher shop I go into.
And anyone try to speak you in English?
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if I go into the butcher shop, there's a man there. He knows a little bit of English. But every time I go in, they'll say, what I had there? You know what I mean? So he'll come over. Good morning. You know what I mean? So it's always nice if they can do it. Yeah. They'll do it, you know. It's because I think they also would like to be able to speak another language or speak English, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the little girl that works at the Del Mar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, asking if, you know, she could learn.
Everyone is willing to exercise.
Yeah, sure, yeah. And it's, you know, as I said, it's difficult for people as well that they're not able to speak English. Because a lot of people, especially in Del Mar, a lot of people come in there that are, regardless of where they're from, they might be French or German or Yugoslavian, but they'll all speak English.
All speak English.
And so I can understand why this little girl would want to get a knowledge of it, but it's difficult. Learning languages is difficult. See, I mean, I go into the supermarket even today, and they will always ask me the same question. I mean, the first one I understand, they ask me if I'm like a member of leader, you know what I mean, the points. You know, so I say, no, I'm not. And then they ask me something else. Well, I still haven't found out what the second thing is, but I just say no, and they go on all right. I'm not sure if they're asking me for money, for...
The way, if you got a change of 306 pesos, if you give the 6 pesos to charity.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
this is any amount less than 10 pesos.
Oh, okay, good. So that's good. I can tell them that. Because I hate those little coins. Fuck. I've got a whole bag of them in there. But I never...
that is because you say no.
That's
so
what I'm saying. Yeah.
6 pesos.
Yeah. I'd rather just... Now that I know that, I'll say, I'll probably go in and won't get any change at all.
That is.
From now on, I'll never have those little coins again.
And they talk very quickly.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I have no idea what they're talking about. None.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they must look at me and think, you cheap fuck.
Yeah.
But as I say, that's that's one of those things when people, and then people will talk to me in the street, and I have no idea. The other day, I was waiting for a bus, and this old man, I watched him coming up from the dry cleaners, and he was walking up real slow, and he came across the street, and I met the bus, and just as he got to me, he looked up, and he started off, right? Well, I understand Tomas because, elderly people, they don't get anybody to talk to. You know what I mean? It's like in California, you go into a supermarket, if there's an old woman in front of you, you're going to be there for fucking ever. Because she'll keep talking to the girl behind the thing, you know what I mean? And on and on and on. Because they don't have anybody to talk to, And that's the way he was. And he went on and on and on. And I just stood there, and I was nodding and listening to him. And then he'd break out in laughter, and then he'd go on again,
No idea what he was telling you.
No idea at all. So I eventually had to stop him, and I told him, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. So he says, oh, like, where are you from? Well, no, I can understand, you know what I mean? No, he asked me if I was German. That's what it was. Yeah. And I told him, no, I wasn't German, I was Irish. Oh, Irish, fine. Do you come from the north of Ireland or the south of Ireland? I said, I come from the south. Oh, católica. I said, sí, mucho católica. So, but that's as much as I could understand, you know what I mean? But it's difficult, when people come up and ask me a question and I'm like...
Maybe this is the worst thing of living here, the language.
It is for me, for sure, no doubt about it.
For anyone who don't speak Spanish, because isolate you.
Yeah. Yeah, and they always say that, you know what I mean? When you're looking into a place that you're going to, they always say, you have to have a knowledge of the language. You know what I mean? Which is true. Or at least you should have a knowledge of the language. You know what I mean? As I said, it's made a little easier today because you can translate off the computer, but I mean...
Not the same.
It's not the same, of course not. No, you want to be able to sit... I mean, I'd give anything to sit down at Cafe Del Mar and have a conversation. Yeah. Even talk bullshit, whatever. It doesn't make any difference, The only thing for me is like, I feel better in summertime because I know there's so many tourists here. Yeah. So they're forgiving, you know what I mean? You don't know and, fine and dandy. But I've never found any, like, hostility, you know what I mean?
No.
Like you see,
but it's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable, yeah. Because, I mean, when I went to the bank to get Cuenta Estado, yeah? So usually the girl I know is there, and all I have to say to her is, "Cuánto estaba, por favor?" You know, she knocks it out for me. This was a different girl, right? So she was playing with the thing, and I thought, fuck it, here we. So she gets up and she said, blah, 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 blah. And I said, "Lo siento, señorita, no hablo español." And then she thinks if she comes closer to me and says it slowly, then I'll understand. You know what I mean?
The same shit.
The same thing. And she says the same thing to me. And I said, all I did was give her my number, my account number, you know what I mean? Because she has it anyway. So she sat down, boom, 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 and pulled out the thing, gave it to me, and that was it.
That's
you know, but it's like, it's difficult, you know, you can't run into any problems with it. If you run into a problem.
This is the real pain in the ass that living here not knowing Spanish.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. It's one of the things, but I mean, I can't blame that on anybody but me. You know what I mean? I can't say, "Oh, fuckerica, they don't speak English." That's bullshit.
Yeah, man.
You know?
No way, yeah.
You know? If I go to Hungary, it's the same way. If I don't speak Hungarian, you know, I can't blame the Hungarians for me not being able to understand them, you know?